Hey, beloved, welcome to another chapter of the book of Sean. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I got a great show for you tonight, people. We're going to have a good time. Got some headlines for you, some Ask Dr. Sean. And my sister Deja is here. Deja and I are going to have a great conversation about something that ain't easy, okay? Forgiving people that get on your damn nerves. People that drive you crazy. Some folks who've done some things to you. And you'd like to pour hot grits on them. You ever been there? You ever want to pour some hot grits on people? Raise your hand. Raise your feet, too. I'm just saying. Forgiveness, people, it ain't easy. But there is a path to get there. And I know the path to get there. And I'm going to see if I can help Deja, I like saying her name, Deja, get to the joy that she deserves, because she deserves a life beyond the hurt, okay? And so do you. Let's get started, people. Let's do some headlines. Okay, so I got to start with a story about the Ukraine, okay? You know we weren't going to get through a show without Ukraine because the media's acting like there's nothing else going on in the world. I feel sorry for any other country in any other part of the world, Africa, Asia, because you ain't going to get no airtime, all right? So let's start in the Ukraine, too. All right, I'm talking mess, but we're going to do the same thing. So I was supposed to come on tonight and talk to you about how the Russians and the Ukrainians had worked out this ceasefire. Right? So, but by the time we got this headline into the script and into the show and me doing it now, the Russians have already violated the ceasefire. In fact, the day that they agreed to do the ceasefire is the day that they violated. So I can't even do a headline about how Russia and the Ukrainians have worked out a ceasefire because the damn Russians violated the ceasefire. But I can't talk about the wisdom of this, because you guys know I can find genius in anything, okay? Just give me 10 minutes and I'll find some wisdom in it. Because I think this is actually quite profound. And here it is. It just goes to show you, write this down, that you can't make deals with the devil. You can't make deals with the devil and expect the devil to keep his deal, because he's a devil. And devils going to do what devils are going to do. Okay? Here's the point I'm trying to make. People who have no character have no character. And they have no character before they met you. They have no character when they're with you. And they have no character when you're not in the room. Okay? And just because they sit down at the table doesn't mean they're going to develop integrity all of a sudden because they're in the room with you. Okay? So you've been hurt by people who didn't have integrity before they met you. They were hurting people before you came in the door. So you can't take what they did personal because, what does a snake do? It bites. It doesn't care if you like it. The nature of a snake is to bite people. Okay? Russia broke the ceasefire agreement, and they broke it because that's what Putin is. That's what Putin does. You can't trust this guy. Okay? If you think you can trust Vladimir Putin, then I got a bridge that connects Anaheim and Long Beach that I'd like to sell you. And just for the record, there is no bridge that connects Anaheim and Long Beach. But I still want to sell it to you because you're obviously gullible and dumb. Oh, my God. People will promise the world to you, man. They'll promise the world to you. You ever had somebody come in your life and promise you the world? I'm always going to be there for you. I'm never going to hurt you. I'll drink your bathwater. I love you so much. And then what happened? Then what happened? You see, here's my point. People can promise you the world, but what you believe is up to you. Oh, that's good, Dr. Sean. Just because you said it doesn't mean I believe it. My mama used to say something, God rest her soul. This is my favorite thing my mama used to say. My mama used to say, I know you for your works. Huh? Now, you know my mama was a church, right? That's church right there. My mama used to say, I know you for your works. You come in my house and you say all this stuff. My mama said, no problem. I know you for your works. And what she was saying is, and what I'm trying to say to you is, you know people based upon what they do, not what they say. Watch what they do. Watch what they do when they're hurt. Watch what they do when they have money. Watch what they do when they don't have money. Watch how they talk to you when things are going well. Watch how they talk to you when things are not going well. Because I know you for your works, not your words. In every language, love is a verb. Huh? Now that's kind of cliche, but it still works. In every language, love is a verb. Love is not what you say. It's not how you feel. Love is how you treat me. And if you sit around and make a promise to me at 3 o'clock and you break it at 4 o'clock, and I don't care what comes out of your mouth, you don't love me. And knowing me, I probably don't love you either. Oh my God. So Putin lied, okay? Because liars lie. Don't waste time being mad at people for being exactly who they are. Be prepared to have a life without them. Let's move on. Let's talk about Brett Hankinson, okay? Brett Hankinson is the officer who was that guy, this person right here. Keep his picture up, John Boy. That guy right there was supposedly charged for shooting a wall during the raid of the home and murder of Breonna Taylor. Well, that guy right there, Mr. Brett, was found not guilty of endangering the life of Breonna Taylor's neighbors. So according to the law, that guy right there did nothing wrong. So he was charged for shooting a wall and not killing a woman. And now the law has decided that even the shooting of the wall did not endanger her neighbors, let alone result in the death of this blessed sister. He was never charged for killing Breonna Taylor. And you guys know that I told you this before. This guy being charged for shooting a wall is like Lee Harvey Oswald being charged for shooting the car but not killing the president. Like, in what universe, in what multiverse does that make sense? And that's exactly what happened. Okay? How is it the case that killing a woman makes you less liable than shooting a wall? Only in America does a wall have more value than a woman. Except for the fact that she was a black woman, which means that the wall was definitely more valuable in American sensibilities than her life. But I thought all lives mattered, people. Y'all remember y'all used to tell me that? All lives matter, all lives matter. And all lives do matter, but nobody was charged for the killing, for the murder of this woman. Equal protection under law. Isn't that one of the basic precepts of democracy? Equal protection under law. If you commit a crime and the result of that crime is that somebody is murdered or killed, or if you do something, somebody dies from that, there should be accountability for that. This officer has no accountability. And it's so curious to me, people, how America is running off to Europe to fight for freedom and democracy. Right? Oh, everybody wants freedom and democracy over in Eastern Europe. But Breonna Taylor's bones lie restless and sleepless in the ground. And they are still crying out to us, asking us, when is she going to get justice? It's amazing how we're trying to get justice half a world away, but freedom and democracy has nothing to say about the murder of Breonna Taylor. Still. And the guy who shot, who was involved in the shooting in her home. Now, he's not even guilty of shooting a wall or endangering the lives of her neighbors. It's amazing to me how people, you know what amazes me? This amazes me. Deja, tell me what you think about this later. It amazes me how people will come to your funeral, but they won't come to your rescue. It's amazing to me. It's amazing to me that in America, people only care about the victim if they can see themselves in the victim. So if you don't look like me, I don't care. If you're not my race, you're not my complexion, you're not my economy, you're not my sexual orientation, you're not my gender, I don't care. But you should care. Because all lives really do matter. You weren't wrong when you were saying it. You were just taking it out of context and using it against us. But the sentiment is actually true. I care about people that I have no connection to them at all. I was watching the State of the Union real quick, and I was watching the State of the Union when Biden was doing the speech, and the little white kid, little white boy that he highlighted for the, had type 1 diabetes. But before he highlighted him, the little white kid gave a handshake to the big black labor guy, and I loved that little kid. Like, I loved everything about him. Now, he's a little white kid. We have nothing in common. We have different race, different economy, different parts of the country, but you can see his spirit and his soul come out. Like, this is a genuinely good little dude. And if something happened to him, I would want justice for him and for his family. Why don't you want that for me? Why don't you want that for Breonna Taylor? Anyway, Officer Brett may be officially not guilty, but I promise you, he will never be innocent. He knows it, I know it, and God knows it too. Let's move on because I'm running out of time. Okay. Normally, sometimes I do headlines that just throw you people off because you don't really expect me to do them because it's not really in my bailiwick, right? It's not what I normally do. And this is one of them, right? This is one headline you don't see coming. You ready for this? Let's talk about Russell Westbrook and the Los Angeles Lakers. You're like, Dr. Sean, you don't do sports. Well, I love sports, by the way. I just don't tend to do it on the show. But I want to talk about this because I watched an interview with Russell Westbrook talking just the other day, maybe today, about how he no longer wants his family to come to home games because of all the criticism and what people are saying about him around his children. He doesn't want his children to hear what people are saying about him. So he doesn't want his family to come to home games at the new arena, whatever the hell it's called, crypto, whatever it's called now. But Russell Westbrook, as you know, is a guard for the Los Angeles Lakers. And Russell Westbrook is having a terrible season. There's just no way to dress it up, okay? He's playing awful. And the Lakers are playing awful. The Lakers are terrible. And I can talk about the Lakers. Let me tell you why. I've been a Laker fan since 1984. I was the only person in New York City walking around with a Laker jacket on, all right? I'm born and raised in New York. I was the only person walking around South Jamaica, Queens, and Springfield Gardens with a Laker jacket on. I love the Lakers since 1984. I think I was in the 6th grade or something, 5th grade, whatever I was. I'm just saying, the Lakers are terrible this year. They're absolutely awful. Westbrook is awful. But here's why I wanted to do this story. You ready for this? Put your seatbelts on, people. I'm about to make a hard left turn on you. The way you get people to play better or to be better or to act better isn't to condemn and criticize them. Condemning and criticizing people isn't the way to get people to perform better. That doesn't do it. It only makes people more insecure and more anxious that every time they make a mistake, they're going to get booed and get more criticism. The way you help people raise the level of what they're doing is you have to celebrate them, wait for it, when they don't deserve it. You have to encourage people when they haven't earned it. And I promise you, if you do that, people will rise to the level of your celebration. In the same way, they will sink to the level of your condemnation. I'm a Laker fan. And if everybody who is a real Laker fan from now on, we've got to start clapping for this terrible team. Because that's the only way they're going to get better. They're not going to get better if we boo. They're going to be more self-conscious and make more mistakes. And let me just tell you this before I switch to this headline and rush out to this break. When it's all said and done, condemnation has never made anybody better. Let's go back to my mama. My mama used to say you get more flies with honey than you do with what? Vinegar. And there are people in your life right now who you want to be better, act better, think better, look better, work better. And I'm telling you, you complaining about them and you booing them with your eyes or booing them with your attitude, they are never going to improve. Yeah. Shaming Russell Westbrook is not a path to success. It is a path only to a self-fulfilling prophecy. You think you love somebody? You think you love the Lakers? You think you love whoever it is you love? Here's the test. Can you clap for me even when you're mad at me? Can you clap for them even when you're disappointed? Because that's what real love is all about. Deja, you know I love you already, just so you know. All right, let me do my last headline before I take this break. All right, let's talk about Texas crazy. So a Texas judge had to issue a restraining order against the state investigating a couple for child abuse because that couple provided gender-affirming medical care for their teenage child. In this case, teenage daughter. So the judge had to step in and stop the state for investigating, ultimately to charge parents for supporting their child in gender-affirming medical care. And just to be clear, I don't even know what the hell gender-affirming medical care is. I don't know what that is. But you know the more important point is, it doesn't matter. Because all I know is that there are parents supporting their child in a private decision that only affects their family. Now, what that child does has nothing to do with my house, my family, my kids, my nothing. It don't affect me at all. So why is the state of Texas running around charging people with child abuse or wanting to do it when they're making a private decision with their child and their family? Republicans make me sick. And that's the part I couldn't wait to get to. Do my head like that. They make me sick with their hypocrisy. Y'all sitting around talking about how you believe in individual rights and personal freedom and give me my liberty and don't tread on me and I don't have to take a vaccine and I don't have to shut up. Now you in somebody else's house monitoring what they doing with their children and she ain't got nothing to do with you. Y'all need to go somewhere and sit down. As my mama would say, sat down. Let me take this break in a second, but let me just say this real quick. I have 2 sons, and I love my sons to death. They are wonderful people. I only had 3 things that I ever wanted for my kids. I wanted them to be happy, I wanted them to be healthy, and I wanted them to be good human beings. Everything else I didn't care about. I don't care if they were gay or straight, if they came out a doctor or a bus driver. I didn't care if they went to college. Okay, I did care if they went to college. Okay, that was kind of non-negotiable. Okay, I didn't care if they liked James Baldwin more than Toni Morrison. That would have hurt me, but I'm just saying. But the one thing they had to be was good human beings. They had to be good human beings. Non-negotiable in my house. You're not a good human being. If you can't care about other people just as much as you care about yourself, you got to find somewhere else to sleep. These parents only want that for their kid. They want their kid to be happy. They want their kid to be healthy. They want their kid to be a good person. And the state of Texas needs to get out the way. And you hate trans people so much that you're willing to violate your own principles and look like a fool. Let's take a break. Because if we don't, I'm going to start cussing. I'm trying to be saved. I want Deja to like me. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Listen, so, yeah, you know, when it's all said and done, y'all pray for the Lakers. We might have to forgive them and they might have to forgive us. Speaking of forgiveness, you know, it's never easy, right? Coming to terms with what's been done to you, how people have treated you is never easy, you know? And some of you right now are in the business or in the process of really trying to overcome some things. And those of you who don't know what it feels like, well, that's why my guest is here tonight, because she's really going to put her finger on the needed core, as it were. She's going to put her finger on the hot nerve and help us understand what it's like when you're living with something you can't let go of. Welcome to the show tonight, Deja Barnes. Hey, Deja.
Hey.
I like your energy already, just so you know.
I like yours too. That's good.
Thank you. See, this is what I'm talking about. All right, let's get right to it. All right, because I want to. I don't listen. Let's just go there. What are you struggling to forgive? Let's just start there.
Geesh. I think in this season, because sometimes we say we are forgiving for certain things and we don't necessarily forgive for those things. But I think in this season, I've been working on forgiving an individual who I feel based off of my own judgment of their actions based off what they did to me. And so just accepting them where they are and, like you said, clapping for them even when it hurts. I'm trying to do that, you know, clap for that individual that has caused that pain and imbalance that I'm still working and growing through.
So let's do this, and I'm probably gonna get in trouble for this, but I don't care. Don't tell me the relationship. Don't tell me the person, right? Don't tell me how you connected, because we don't want to identify them in any way. But give me an example of what was done to you.
I'd say, if I bring it into small terms, lying to me and then creating a false narrative, like allowing me to be in a space of thinking that this was something that it actually wasn't, and then finding out that there is something different, and then truth being revealed, even though, you know, I expected that first kind of thing. So just lying. And I think lying bothers me even with platonic and all type of relationships.
Listen, you and I could have a whole show about people who falsify what it is they really are trying to say and do. Anyway, So when someone has wronged you, and in this case, because I love the example you gave, when someone has lied to you, what do? how do you respond to them and to you?
Normally, it's like the moment I find out that you're lying, I'm shutting it. I have nothing else to talk about. And sometimes that will mean I don't talk to you. I just cold turkey have no more conversations with you. I don't need to explain anything because I feel like my energy tells you that something is wrong. And I feel like obviously you can read minds or something like that and you just know that you lied to me. And I don't want to, I'm not a confrontational person. So I don't like to be like, okay, you lied. And so, but that's something that I do want to work on is to be like, you know, you lied and stand, you know, firmly in me and say, I don't appreciate this. And that's going to take me being vulnerable. But I like the way love feels. So even in my vulnerable state, still saying, you know, I didn't like this, but I forgive you. But I might have to say that for 30 days. I forgive you because I might not forgive you until the 29th day.
So if I heard you correctly, correct me if I'm wrong. When someone lies to you, hurts you, violates some part of your trust, your normal reaction is to shut down, to withdraw.
Yes.
Okay. So, okay. How long have you gone not talking to someone? What's the longest you've gone not talking to someone, not dealing with someone because of what they did or said or lied about?
One time it was like 3 years with a family member. It was like 3 years. And then it was just like I felt like they understood, but it's this thing where family now has this thing where like, okay, well, somebody either lied to Deja or got her upset because she cut us off. We haven't talked to her, we haven't heard from her. So
yeah,
like we know that is the thing, but I don't want that to be a thing anymore.
Yeah, listen. Before this time together is over, we're going to deal with the problem of doing that. Okay, I promise you, I'm going to help you see that differently. Because in a lot of ways, you've already said it. I'm just going to frame it in a way that I think is going to speak to your spirit. But I got some more questions, though. Okay. So Tell me what makes forgiveness hard for you. And here's what I'm asking. I'm asking, when someone does something, right, why does it take you so long and so much withdrawal to deal with it?
I think it's primarily because I think about it. And I think about, like, what did I do to make you think that it was okay to lie to me? I haven't lied to you, so why would you think that would be okay to lie to me? And then I had the expectation, and I'm working on releasing those expectations, but have the expectation people should treat me how I treat them because that's what they should do.
Yes. Yeah, listen, that's a great expectation. But here's my pushback, though. You ready? You ready for this? My pushback is, do you believe or do you feel like when you cut people off that you're punishing them?
I do because I think that I'm anywhere I go, my goal is like.
You see my face? You see my face? You see my face?
I think, but honestly, you know, you gotta. And the thing is, obviously, if I'm talking to you, that means I want to continue to walk forward and being better. So that's the truth. It felt like in my eyes, it was like, yes, that is the punishment because, you know, to know Deja is to love Deja, and it's not in a cocky way.
Listen, well, first, let me affirm that because you are entirely delightful. You're charming. You have a wonderful spirit and personality. But I got some good news for you, and I got some bad news for you. Which one you want first?
Let's go to that.
Okay. The bad news is this. Most of the people who are willing to lie to you and hurt you are not virtuous enough to be affected by your absence.
Listen, I see they keep on going. They keep on doing this thing. I'm like, wait a minute, you're not mad? I'm so mad. You should be mad with me.
Right. How come you're not wearing sackcloth and laying in ashes? Because most of the people that hurt us are not moral enough to care about the pain that they cause. But I got some good news for you. You want the good news now?
Yes. Come on.
The good news is, even though they are not consciously aware of your absence, your energy, your spirit, your anointing, I'll use that language, when someone is denied of that, something about their lives are different. even if they don't realize it and don't know it. Here's my point. You are not punishing people when you withdraw. You're not, because they don't even, they move on to the next person they want to lie to. But the good news is you do have something that people should want to be connected to. You get that?
I'll be feeling that.
Okay, so here's my question. Let me check my time. Here's my question, all right? How did you learn not to forgive? Because my sense is you learned this.
I feel like it was a secondhand emotion. Family is our first teacher. Well, I think our second teacher, because, you know, I came out, God had kind of showed me what I needed to do. And then, you know, he put me with my mama and them and my, you know, my family. So family is your first teacher. So I pretty much had learned it from family. It's a secondhand emotion. But,
so, okay, Deja, hold on. So what did you consistently watch your family do with respect to disappointment, failure, heartbreak? What did you watch them do to each other?
Lies, unforgiveness. There was a bunch of, it was like a circle. So the withdrawal actually was something that's a family thing. You know, when somebody is lied to by a family member or feels like, you know, they were backstabbed or whatever, they just, you know, go ahead about their business for a while and then they come back and we just, you know, act like it never happened, which is not okay.
So you essentially watch the people in your family, in your life, in your original world, you watch them go through this cycle of lying, hurting, not forgiving, holding resentment, moving away, having reinitiated unreconciled hurt and pain and act as if nothing happened. Did I get it right?
Yes, you did.
Yes. And you are so prototypical and so typical of so many families. Because in most families, we don't address things head on, right? What we do is we just fade away, we go away, we wait 6 months, 3 months, and then we show up again, and then we give each other that look like, you over it, I'm over it too. And then we go, oh, so you want to get some pie? Yeah, I get some. Did I get it right?
Yes. No, that's exactly why I'm not in agreement. Like, why are you my cousin way over there?
I'm just saying, because so many people do this, and the problem is we don't realize that we're building a pattern that might work with your cousin, but not with your husband.
Absolutely.
That pattern might work. That pattern might work with your third cousin, nephew, something, but it's not going to work with your children. Am I teaching? Am I doing my good teaching?
You're doing good. I'm taking mental notes now. I'm
trying to listen. I got to take this break, but for everybody watching, I need you to pay attention, okay? I need you to pay attention because Deja is our scribe. She's our teacher. She's our lesson tonight. And what her family did is a lot of what our families do, and that is we don't deal with things. We don't. Will you put that camera back on me? We don't address things. When we come back, we're gonna address some stuff. Take the camera off me. We'll be right back. I'm just playing. Welcome back, everybody. I'm talking to Deja Barnes. So, Miss Deja, let me ask you a question, and this question is there's subtleties to it, but I'm gonna ask. No. Trust me. I'm your cousin. Remember? Just trust me. Okay. Why do you think you believe in withdrawing so much? Oh no. Let me answer it a better way. You ready for this? What would you say if I said to you that you're passive aggressive?
I'd say I agree.
And how do you feel about that?
I feel like it is what it is, and I'm gonna take the necessary steps to make sure that I become better. But you know, I learned it, and it worked. It worked for me.
Hold on. So here's the first step. Is it working for you?
Not anymore.
Okay, perfect. That's it. Deja, we are there. You hear me? We are there because what you just said is the beginning of everybody's transformation. Transformation begins when people acknowledge that what they're doing isn't working for them.
I agree. I'm ready.
Okay. So let's start the transformation, all right? All right. So tell me what you feel. Okay, when I say the word conflict, what comes up?
We're not about to do this. That's what comes up. So that I said it. We're not about to do this.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna push you. Give me some emotions. When I say conflict, what emotions come up?
Stress. We got a problem. Oh goodness, man. What's the problem? How we fix it today, not tomorrow, because I don't want to waste my time on this.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah. And in most cases, Deja, that's how people view conflict. They view conflict as if conflict is present, it must be about stress, problem, anxiety, worry, all of that. But what would you say if I told you that sometimes love is manifested in conflict?
I believe it. I believe that. And I actually felt that when you said it. So I believe it. I believe it. Yes, I believe it.
Because here's the point I'm trying to make. That as long as you, and you started us off here, and that's your genius coming out. As long as you allow people to lie to you or do something to you you don't like, and then you give them the ground by retreating away, right? Mm-hmm. And believing in the retreat that you're hurting them, at the end of the day, you do yourself a disservice and you ultimately reinforce to them their power. That they have the power to make you retreat. They have the power to make you go back into your little whatever. I'm suggesting this. That you understand that conflict is not about stress. The conflict isn't just about problems. Conflict is how you say to someone, I love myself enough not to let you get away with this. I love myself enough to say something in the moment. And I'm going to tell you in the moment, not 6 months from now. I'm going to tell you in the moment that this was wrong and that I'm not accepting this. Now, when I say that, how do you feel? What comes up for you?
Well, initially, when you say that, I'm like, huh? What? That's like, because it sounds like you're about to start an argument, you know? Mm-hmm. And for me, when I say that, when I'm advocating for myself, the first response is I think somebody is about to get upset and they're about to say or respond however they feel is conducive to this specific situation.
Mm-hmm. And Deja, what's wrong with the people who have lied to you being upset? Why should you be the only one upset and they walk away? What?
Well, I think it played a lot with, just family. Again, speaking and experiencing family in a way that is sometimes when you can get somebody upset, they can lash out, they can say hurtful things, they could become violent, family and friends, when you experience them in that way, you're like, okay, I want to avoid them getting upset because I don't want to experience being physical. I don't want to experience, someone verbally abusing me because I feel like I voice what I feel in this moment. And so, that comes from years of being in one space of, okay, my ultimate goal is to make sure that I don't argue with nobody, because once they become upset, they'll respond, and then I may respond, in a defensive type of way.
Yeah. I listen, with respect to violence, I understand that. But here's my problem with it. My problem with it is you end up teaching your children something you don't want them to learn.
Absolutely.
Because they learn they learn this behavior the way you learned it, right? And at the end of the day, they end up becoming people who are passive aggressive, who recede, who don't stand up, who don't have a voice, right? And that's not what you want them to learn. Did I get that right?
Oh, that's 122% right.
Yeah. What do you want them to learn from you?
I want them to learn love. I just want them to know, that love is the foundation of everything, and literally just showing up every day as love and respecting people, being a decent person and choosing love. Like, I'm passive aggressive, and I don't think that I want my children to be like that. I have a child that is like that, and I have another child that is the opposite. And so that child kind of shows me and challenges me in different ways because that child is very local. And so that's one of the things that I have allowed my children to do is speak up. And being passive aggressive, sometimes I'm stumbling because they're like, I don't like that. And I'm not okay with that. Or they'll say why. And I'm like, oh, what do you mean why? But then I also go back to, wanting them to advocate for themselves how I want to be.
Yeah, I sense with you that part of the challenge isn't just forgiveness, that part of the challenge is finding your voice. And here's what I mean by that. That if I'm dealing with someone who can be, verbally aggressive or even physically aggressive, I can still stand up for myself and say this to them. That wasn't cool, and I don't accept that. And that's it. I ain't got to argue with you. We're not going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? We're not going back and forth. But here's what I've done. I have not failed myself. I have not disappointed myself. I have not handed over the best of me to the worst of what you tried to do. All I said to you was 2 sentences. That wasn't cool, and I don't accept that. That's it.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I'm saying to you that is a better way to handle what people do to you than to just sort of recede for 6 months and then believe that being away is going to affect them. And it's a better lesson for your children to say that my mama stood up. My mama will stand up for me because my mama stood up for herself. And I learned this from my mama. I watched my mama be strong enough to tell the world, you can't abuse me, you can't lie to me, and you can't treat me any kind of way and expect to get away with it. If you do this here, come on now, if you do this here, I'm going to put an end to all of this. So I'm saying to you, let this be your new way.
I receive it. This will be my new way.
Yeah.
Challenge myself to continue to find my voice and advocate for myself.
Yeah, and listen, again, I got to take this break, but it doesn't have to be a big, long, argument. There have been times when I say to people, nope, not doing it. And that's it.
Yeah.
Because the goal is not to convince you that I'm right. The goal is for me to love myself enough to stand in my truth.
Absolutely.
Okay, Deja. Listen, come back and see me because I like talking to you, okay?
I will.
Yeah, listen, I wish you well. Hey, here's my last question before I take this break, before they start yelling, before they start yelling at me. If you wanted me to pray for you, what would you ask me to pray for?
I'd say I'd ask you to pray for me to have a sound mind, peace, joy, love being the centerfold, and just experiences and release of fearless, being fearless, using my voice. That's what I said.
Yeah. Well, know this, that is my prayer for you. I pray that which is greater than you would release you. I pray that which is deeper than you would take you higher. I pray that which is stronger than you would make you strong. I pray that which is the progenitor of words would give you words to say. And I pray that your children and your children's children and your children's children's great-grandchildren will call your name blessed, and they will call you great, because you are the one that set a new standard and a new paradigm for them. And they will call you Deja. Yeah. Let's take a break.
Thank you.
I'm about to throw my shoe. All right, people, let's take a break. We'll be back with some Ask Dr. Shaw. About to have some church. Welcome back, everybody. So, I'm wishing and praying for Deja's success and happiness. I think she's just a wonderful spirit. And I think a lot of people are exactly where she happens to be, at least when she came on the show. And that is thinking that the issue is one thing when in truth it's entirely something different, right? So forgiveness is something that we began the conversation with, but we ended the conversation with her really being challenged and affirmed to own her voice. and that when you own your voice and when you take your place, you don't feel the need to carry people along with you emotionally who don't deserve to take the ride. And that's what unforgiveness does. I don't really like that word because it kind of doesn't exist, but that's what not forgiving people does. You take them with you and they don't deserve to ride. Anyway, let's do some Ask Dr. Sean. So I got a video sent in by a couple. Let's take a look at the couple.
Hi, Dr. Sean. I'm Bree.
Hello, I'm Dante.
And we've been engaged for 3 years. We have a 3-year-old son, and we're looking to expand our family. My question to you is if you have any tools or advice for us to properly communicate while still listening and hearing each other,
as well as understanding each other.
Okay, great question. Great question. I do have some tools for that. This is not a tool, just some healthy advice, and that is, I think you should probably start to be in counseling or therapy right now when things are going well. Because you don't get counseling and you don't get therapy, you shouldn't begin that when things are going wrong. It's almost too late. You want to do it when things are going well, so you build the skills and you build the boundaries and you build all of the things that you need to give you support for when things are not going well. So my first advice is for you to right away find you a therapist, a life coach, a counselor, a marriage person, whoever it is, who can sort of help you sort of do this day-to-day work and understand each other. But I will give you some tools that I think are effective for couples to sort of get to another level of love and relationship. Here's the first one. Do your best to learn how to listen on a different level. And spend at least part of the day intentionally where you only ask questions and you only listen to the answers. Right? So you get to ask questions that you probably have wanted to ask for a long time, or things that you don't really know about each other, or things you'd like to reaffirm or hear again. My point is this: listening, learning how to listen, and how particularly not to listen to respond or not to listen to argue, is a skill that most couples need to learn right away. To learn to just how to listen. I just want to listen to what you have to say, and to say, I'm not going to respond, I'm not going to argue, I'm not going to push back. I just want to hear what you have to say. 90% of couples in America, if you ask the people in the relationship how they feel, most of the time when it's not going well, people will say, I don't feel like I'm being heard. And most of the time when it's a communication problem, it's because people don't feel like they're being heard. They feel like they're being critiqued, argued, pushed back against. So why don't you start right now with spending, part of the day or a certain day, whatever it is, just saying, all I want to do today is listen to you. And I'm not listening to argue, I'm listening to learn. And use that language. Here's the second thing I'll give you, and then I got to do a question someone DM me, is I would have a couple that can mentor you. A couple that's been involved in relationship a long time. Okay? People who have been married for a lot of years, maybe they have a lot of kids or have kids already. You need a coach. I'm not just a therapist, but a coach. Because sometimes you can't reach your therapist, but you can call so-and-so who's been married for 40 years and got 5 kids, and they can help put in perspective this thing that you think is so important and so big. Okay? So I would say learn how to listen and have intentional moments of listening, not for the purpose of responding or arguing, and then find you a couple that can mentor you because they've been married a long time. They are obviously successful at staying together, and they know what it is to raise kids. That's what I have for you today. I wish you love. I wish you lots and lots of love, and with that, patience and kindness and empathy. Because when it comes down to it, without empathy, relationships don't last. But you guys will be all right. All right, somebody DM me this question. My girlfriend of 2 years was recently diagnosed with cancer. Her health is weighing on me heavily, and I don't know the best way to support her. How can I be there for her without affecting my mental health? Yeah, it's a difficult thing, right? Here's what I would say to you, is to understand that when you're with someone who's going through an illness or a difficult time, that your real responsibility is presence. Your job is to be there to support them with your presence. You're not there to fix anything. You're not there to make people healed. You're not even there to make people better. Certainly with something like cancer, you don't have that kind of power. What you can do is you can be present to the degree that you can stand to be present. And it's okay to be able to say to people, you know, I can't take all of this because of whatever reason I'm not able to do it. I would advise that you have someone in your life that you're able to bounce off what you're going through in this situation. But remember, take the pressure off yourself and just know that your being there is the gift that you bring. And if a person is asking for more than you can give, and you owe it to them and to you to be honest about what your limits are, okay? It's my advice. I hope you take it. Let's take a break. We'll be right back with more Ask Dr. Sean right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Let's do some more Ask Dr. Sean. Somebody sent me another video, and I can't wait to see it. Let's take a look at it.
Hi, Dr. Sean. My name is Kristen from Wisconsin, and I need some advice. So I like my company. My boss is great, but I am ready to go to the next level in my career, and I don't see any opportunities to advance at the company right now. Should I start looking for positions outside the company, or should I just be patient?
Well, actually, you can do both. I don't think it's an either or. I think you can patiently plan and strategize and plot your way to the next level. You're blessed to be in a situation where you get along with the people that you work with, right? You're not in consternation or tension with them. So that's a blessing. And and the benefit of that blessing means you have time. It means you're not under the gun. You're not rushed. You're not under pressure, right? Let's give thanks to the Creator for that. So you have the time and you have the wherewithal and the license and the liberty to begin to plan. What's the next level? What are you looking to get? What are you looking to have manifest in you, right? Not just what are you looking to buy or to own, but what are you looking to draw out of yourself? Because that will determine what kind of position you go to next. So I think it's not either or. You don't have to choose between loving where you are, working with people that you care about and that like you, but realizing that you've gotten all you can get out of it. And being able to say that the only way for me to honor the goodness of this experience is to take what I've gotten from this experience and to go somewhere else. You see, there's a difference between going and leaving, okay? Leaving is a critique and a condemnation. When I leave, I say, I don't like you, this wasn't good, I'm tired of your ways, and I'm leaving. Going is something totally different. Going is when you decide, you've blessed me, you've been good to me, you've been faithful to me, you've honored me, you've protected me. And the only way for me to take all the investment you made in me and to do something with it is for me to go and to have other people understand and know how great you were to me. Leaving is a critique and a condemnation. Going is a compliment and a celebration of how good it was where you were. And I'm suggesting that you go when you're ready to go, when you're ready to move on. Okay? All right. Here's my last one. I'm running out of time. Somebody emailed me this. 2 years ago, I decided to become a vegan for health reasons, but my family and my friends constantly joke about my lifestyle choice. And someone even told me that I was foolish for becoming a vegan. How do I deal with people who aren't comfortable with my personal life choices? Okay? Steve, I think you agree with me on this one. You tell them to go to hell. That's how you deal with it. You stop giving a damn. That's how you deal with that. Because if you're happy with what you're doing, and if what you're doing is working for you, and it ain't hurting nobody, and it's very legal, then why do you care? Huh? I need you to stop caring about what people say about a choice that you've made to be healthy. While they in there eating hog mogs and fatbacks and pork rinds and McDonald's, quarter pounders with cheese, a double quarter pounder with cheese, about to have a stroke and an aneurysm. You know what I'm saying? You've made a decision to take your health to another level. You worry about what they say? My good friend Al Sharpton is like a big brother to me. And you know what he says to me all the time? He said, when I started losing weight, you guys know he lost a lot of weight, 300 pounds. He said, when I lost all my weight, people used to come up to me and ask me if I was okay. And then he said, I used to say to them, they should have been asking me that when I weighed 300 pounds. And now that I'm skinny, they want to know if I'm okay. And my point is this. You can't look to people to understand the choices that you make or to co-sign the things that you do to make yourself better. The way that you not care is that you not care. The way that you move on from their opinions is you move on from their opinions. Just because they have an honored place and a sacred place in your life doesn't make everything that comes out of their mouth golden. Okay? Because you can love people and they can still be wrong. You can love people and they can still not know what the hell they're talking about. You can love people and still be more correct than they happen to be, even though you respect them. So I would just stop talking about it. Why are we still talking about this? You eat your fat back and your hog maws and your chitlins, and I will eat something else. Oh, thank you for tuning in tonight, people. I'll be back soon. Don't you guys go far, because there's more goodness coming to you. Y'all be good to each other, all right? And promise me you'll mean this and receive it when I say it to you. I love you. I really do.